Good morning, student. Today we will discuss our 7th unit, test, measurement and evaluation. Test. In scientific term, test is an instrument or tools used to obtain data on specific trait, characteristic of an individual or group. The test has to be administered, means test is an instrument or tools to uh, to up, to test the worth of a things, means value of a things. For examples, question papers for measuring mental for measuring mental tests, weighing machine, measuring tapes, etc. for measuring physical fitness of an individual. So test is an instrument, or we can say it is a tools from which we can obtain a data. And the test for which we are using, it should measure the test. A good test should measure the quality for which it is to be used. For what purpose we are using the test, it should measure that. And a test should be it should be simple, accurate and easy to administer. Some example of tests are measuring tape, thermometers, weighing machine, etc. These are tests, means tools or uh, instruments from which we can obtain a data. Measurement is an aid to evaluate. It consists of numerical value or scientific score by expert and also known as raw scores. Means measurement is a result or the reading which we get from the test. The measurement is always in numerical form. It is always expressed in number form, that which we obtain from the test. For examples, your weighing machine is a test, it's an instrument, because so it is a test. Weighing machine is a test, and the reading which we get from the test, that is, for example, 50 kg which we get from the test, this 50 kg is a measurement, and measurement is always in numerical form. Evaluation. Test and measurement are the prerequisites for evaluation. For evaluations, we require test and measurement. Without test and measurement, we can't evaluate. So, evaluation is a subjective judgment based upon interpretations and analysis of data or the score which we get from the test. For evaluations, in evaluations, first we interpret a data. And then analyzing the data, and then judging, means evaluations of data which we get from the test. Okay, in evaluation there are 3 steps. First is interpretation of data. Second means analyzing the data, and third, evaluations of data, means judgment of data which we obtain from the test. Evaluations, it is a subjective judgment. For examples, your weighing machine is a test, and the reading, that is 50 kg, is a measurement. And evaluation is your judgment whether you are overweight, underweight, etc. This is evaluation. In evaluations, first we compare the data with some standards or norms, and then after that we make a decisions. This is test, measurement and evaluation. Importance of test, measurement and evaluation. What are the importance? The first is classification of sports person. Test, measurement and evaluations help in classifying the sports person, classifying the sports persons into various groups. on some scientific background with the help of testing the capability and present levels of fitness according to their capability, ability, etc. By testing their ability, we can classify the sports persons into various groups. For examples, classifying on the base of age, sex, body weight, etc. And then according to that, we can group them. Next is selection of sports persons. Test, measurement, and evaluations help in selections of sports persons. For example, if we want a student for a tournament, then we can, with the help of tests and measurement and evaluations, we can select the sports persons from the various group, from a large group. Testing of training effect. Test, measurement, and evaluations help in testing of training effect. After giving the training, before giving the training, we test their physical fitness, and after giving the training, we again test their training effect. Then we can, according to that, we can make a judgment whether their physical fitness are improved or not. Individualizations of training program. Test, measurement, and evaluations helps in individualizations of training program by testing them. By testing them, we can find out their weakness or the needs of the student. So according to that, we can make a training program. Motivations of sports person. Without measurement and evaluations, the teaching or the instructions in physical educations become quite boring due to non-involvement of the interest of student. Test, measurement, and evaluations are highly associated uh, highly highly associated with self-involvement of student. Self-involvement of student thus create interest among the student and motivate them toward the fitness program. If the sports persons know about their capability, then it helps to motivate them to achieve goal and objective specifically. This helps the student to understand the objectives of the program. With the help of tests, measurement, evaluations, student understand the objectives of the programs, and it's help to find out whether the specific goal and objective have been achieved or not. To achieve goal and objectives specifically, this helps student to understand the objective of the program, thus help to find out whether the specific goal and objective have been achieved or not. For examples, in exam, if a student want to obtain above 90% in the exam, then they set of goals. With the help of tests, measurement, and evaluations, they can find out whether their goal have been achieved or not. Study of development of sports program. The development of sports the development of sports persons related to organic, neuromuscular, interpretative, social, and emotional can only be studied by applying the methods of measuring and evaluation. Only by measuring and evaluations we can study the development. We can find out the development of a sports person. To prepare standards or norms. Test and measurement helps to prepare the standards and the norms. By testing we can gain a data. We can gain a data, and according to that data we can make a standards and norms, and we can compare our data with that standards or norms. To predict performance potential, The talented selections to predict performance potential. The talent selections in sports and coaching of teams in various sports is greatly improved by predicting the future potentials of sports person on a given times. Moreover, helps to predict future achievement. With the help of tests, measurement, evaluations, we can predict the potential of a sports person. We can predict the potential of a uh, of the student, and according to that uh, we can give them game, sports or training, and helps to predict the future achievement. Compares Compare and evaluate training methods. This enables the teachers and coach to compare training methods suitable for different group or category. With the help of tests, measurement, and evaluations, we can compare the training methods with each others. We can compare and evaluate the training methods and find out which training method is suitable for the student, for different group. We find out with the help of test, measurement, evaluations. We find out which training methods are best for the student. So according to that, we can give them training. Conduct research work. Test and evaluation, measurement and evaluations are very helpful in research work. They provide us data. Test, measurement and evaluation provide a data. From this we can make a research. They provide the data to establish the relationship and compare the data with specific source. We get the through the test, measurement, evaluation, we get a data, and we can make a research on that data. These are the some objective of test, measurement and evaluation. Body mass index, BMI. Body mass index stand for BMI stand for body mass index. This formula and index was formulated by Belgian Scutelet. This fitness testing, this body mass fitness index is used to measure the body composition on the basis of weight and height. With the help of weight and height, we find out the fitness of the individual, and it helps to know whether the person is underweight, normal weight and overweight. With the help of weight and height, we can find out whether the person is underweight, overweight and overweight, and according to that we can take a diet. And work out to gain the weight or to reduce the weight. Purpose of body mass index: to measure the general health of the individuals by the body composition. Test administration, how we can do body mass index, how we can test body mass index. For this, first we want to measure the weight. In this testing, the health and fitness ability of the individual is based upon relationship of height and weight. So first the height is measured, and height is taken in meters or centimeters. Okay, height, first we measure the height of the individuals, and it is taken measured in meters or centimeters. And then weight, and weight is considered in kilogram or gram. So body mass index is weight upon height square, weight upon height into height. This is the formula. Weight weight upon height square, weight kg into height meter square. According to that, by finding out the body mass index, this is the norms, this is the standards or norms. by finding out the body mass index. The persons measured his BMI and find out whether he is underweight, normal weight, overweight. For example, if the person's body mass index is less than 20 for men, if BMI is less than 20, it means he is underweight. And if his body mass index is 20 to 25, he is healthy range, he is fit and fine, healthy. And if his body mass index is 26 to 30, means he is overweight. And if more than 30, means obese. For women, if BMI is less than 19, she is underweight. 19 to 24, healthy range. 25 to 30 means overweight, and if more than 30 means she is obese. This is the standards, norms. After finding out the BMI, we compare the BMI with these norms. This is body mass index. Next is waist hip ratio. Waist hip ratio, this is related to circumference of the waist to that of the hip. The purpose of waist hip ratio is to determine the ratio of waist to hip circumference related to risks of the health. For this, how we can do? First, we have to measure the circumference, smaller circumference of the waist. सबसे waist का we have to measure the circumference of the waist, that is above the belly, and dividing the circumference of waist to the hip circumference as widest part of the buttocks or the hip, and the ratio is applied both to the men and women. And this is evaluation. Waist hip ratio, it's a good indicators of the health and attractiveness of persons. The ratio around 0.7 for men if his BMI. For women, if his waist hip ratio is 0.7, means she is good and healthy. And for men, if his waist hip ratio is 0.9, he is considered as healthy among the men, and the person has less chance of health problems and disease. And also it is and also it helps to know whether it also helps to find out the attractive. If the person's with the help of BMI, waist hip ratio, the persons will also look attractive. If female 0.7 BMI and 0.9 for male, the person is attractive. We compare the waist hip ratio. We compare the waist hip ratio with this standards. So for females, if BMI is waist hip ratio is more than 0.75, means excellent. 75 to 80, 0.75 to 80 means good. 0.80 to 0.85 means average. 0.85 to 0.09 means high, unacceptable. And if it less than 0.90 means extreme, unacceptable. Next is somatotypes, body types. Somatotypes, it is the classifications of body according to its shape and physics. It was developed by W.S. Selden's. He classified body. W.S. Selden's classified the body into three different extreme body type, that is endomorphic, mesomorphic, and ectomorphic. According to Selden's, the athletes are made of the three extreme body type. So We all we all are part of endomorphic, mesomorphic, and ectomorphic. Let's discuss about the human body shape and physics. Endomorphic. Endomorphic means fatty peoples, those who are fat. Mesomorphic means healthy persons, and ectomorphic. Ectomorphic means underweight, lean and thin people. Endomorphic. An endomorphic person is generally stocky. Endomorphic person is generally stocky with large round body or pear-shaped body. These endomorphic persons have pear-shaped body and they are short, thick neck. Their neck is thick, short and thick, short arms and uh, short arms and legs, wide hips and shoulders. His hip and shoulder is wide, wider front, wider from front rather than side to side, and they have lots of fat on their body, and the tendency of storing of fat in the body is more. Endomorphic persons are poor in physical fitness. They are poor in physical fitness, therefore they are poor athletes. They have less endurance, speed, agility, but endomorphic persons have good strength. Endomorphic persons are powerful. They have more strength. Usually, endomorphic persons, their their natures are endomorphic. Endomorphic act first and think before afterward. First they act and think afterward. They are less secretive, and they are fond of making speech in the public. They are too much friendly. They are very social. They are very socials, and like the peoples, socials, they help the peoples, and they like to live in a group of the peoples. Means they are so much friendly, cooperative, adjusting in natures, talkative, and this endomorphic persons are overestimate their ability. They overestimate their ability, and this endomorphic persons, fatty persons, always remain in a happy mood and do not feel irritated over a small things. They are always happy and never become irritated easily. This endomorphic persons, like the persons, this the game they take are weightliftings, heavy wrestlings, throwing event, etc. The most endomorphic persons, uh, they choose the activities like weightliftings, wrestling, powerlifting, uh, throwing event, etc. Next is mesomorphic. Mesomorphic are healthy persons. These mesomorphic persons will be a strongly built with broad muscles, chest and shoulders, very small arms and leg, and little body fat. They have little body fat. They are medium in height, narrow hip, narrow from the back, then side to side. They are this endomorphic persons have good strength, speed, agility, that is coordinative ability, means they are good sports person. They have good physical fitness. The mesomorphic sustain low body fat, and they find it easy to lose or gain the weight. The endomorphic persons are quite dominant, and they like they are bold and like to take risks. These endomorphic persons are bold and like to take the risks. They have endomorphic mesomorphic persons have leadership quality. They are bold, brave, and take actions quickly. and they are courageous and clear minded and allow directions in any kind of work. Next is ectomorphic. Ectomorphic means underweight, below average weight, underweight persons. This endomorphic, lean and thin peoples. These persons, long, slender and thin, thin, high and forehead. Recording chins, narrow in shoulders. The shoulders are narrow, narrow in hip, narrow chest and abdomen. Thin arms and legs, muscles, very low fat, and their height. And usually endomorphic persons have good height. They have good height. And these endomorphic persons have poor digestive systems. Their face is small, forehead and chin is pointed, and their nose is sharp. They are tall. Usually ectomorphic persons are tall. And ectomorphic persons, they become very irritate easily, over tensions, always like to live uh, alone. They like to live alone, irritate, and they always underestimate their ability. And uh, mentals, they are mentally weak, and uh, they talk less. They are less talkative, less friendly. They live in their world, and does not want to live with the others peoples. They want to live alone. This is endomorphic, mesomorphic, ectomorphic. Endomorphic means fatty peoples, mesomorphic means healthy persons, and ectomorphic means underweight persons, those who are lean and thin. Measurement of health related fitness. Health related fitness measurement tools. There are some tools to measure the physical fitness. This health related fitness, also named as anthropometric tools, like for measuring the height, stadiometers. With the help of stadiometers, we measure the height. For measuring the weight, we use weighing machine. For measuring the flexibility of the joint, we use flexometers. For measuring bone length, bone calipers. For measuring fat, skin folk calipers. For measuring strength, dynamometers. Blood pressures apparatus, blood sugars, glucometers, and chest beat through stethoscope. Look at here. This is stadiometers, calipers for measuring the height, weighing machine for measuring the weight, and this is flexometers for measuring the flexibility, and this is bone calipers for measuring the bone length. This is skin folk calipers for measuring the body fat percentage, and dynamometers for measuring the strength of the hand. This is BP apparatus for measuring the blood pressures, glucometers for measuring the blood sugars, and this is stethoscope for measuring the chest chest beat. These are the some anthropometric tools for measuring the health related fitness. Let's discuss tests. Test is a tools or instrument or a question papers. Test is a raw scores subject to options. So test is a instrument, tools or instrument. BMI means body mass index. Healthy person BMI. Healthy person body mass is 15 to 20%. If BMI is 15 to 20 means he is healthy. WHR means waist hip ratio, and Ectomorphic ectomorphic person are lean and thin persons, those who are lean, underweight peoples. Body fat can be measured through skin for calipers.